God, Thomas.
You are irritating today.
What is wrong?
You've almost knocked yourself and Andy out. Now you're dropping your thermos and letting it roll across the room. All right, so let's say K equals 0.0051. All right, and we have an equation like H2.
Oh, is this from yesterday?
Yep. All right, what does the container have the most of at equilibrium? If that is our equation, that is our equilibrium constant, what would our container contain the most of at equilibrium? Okay, Justice says the reactants. Okay, why does he say the reactants? All right, when he looks at this K, he can tell that this number is a K much less than 1. Can everybody agree with what Justice said there? Okay, that tells us there's lots of reactants. Now, if we're more specific, what are the reactants? That's right. There'd be H2 and I2. There would not be very much what? HI. Very good. All right, now I hope we have everybody in third period and you knock it out there too. All right, everybody got it?
Yeah.
That's what K tells us. Okay, yesterday we did an example where I gave you 540 for a K. So it was a large K. If K is large, what do you have a lot of? You have a lot of products. Okay, it depends on the size of K. Now, if K is around 1, what does it mean if K is around 1? It's equal. You have pretty much the same amounts of everything, reactants and products. Okay? But you'll probably get a question if you get one at all. I doubt you will. I suspect it'll be a shifting question, which is what we're getting ready to do, or it'll be a writing and calculating K question. Okay? Any questions about that?
No.
All right. All right. Let's talk Le Chatelier. We don't need that. Le Chatelier. All right. So the remainder of class, we're going to talk about Le Chatelier's principle. Now, we've already written this. When we did Kahoot the other day, most of you had no idea what the answer to that question was because you have no idea what Le Chatelier's principle said. Now, Le Chatelier allows equilibrium to be shifted. So we can move the direction of equilibrium. If we're making too many reactants, we can shift it. If we're making too many products, we can shift it. So, if a system at equilibrium is subjected to a stress, the system will automatically readjust to minimize the stress. Okay? If a system at equilibrium is subjected to a stress, the system will automatically readjust to minimize the stress. Have I waited long enough? No.
And when you drop the water bottle.
Now, while people are catching up, does anybody remember the 3 stresses we said we were gonna have?
Yes,
What are they?
temperature,
School, my
concentration,
mom.
and pressure.
Pressure.
Yes, okay, which I'm pretty sure is what's next on the board, but it might be on the next slide. Yep, it's on the next slide. All right, have I given everybody time to catch up now? All right, so the 3 stresses we're gonna work with are those 3. Now, I did say up here in parentheses that we can alter pressure by changing volume. Do we remember whose law that is?
What did you say?
Do we remember
Charles.
whose law pressure and volume is?
Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Bowles.
Okay? It would not be on the exam. They would not ask you to name the law. They would expect you to know that pressure and volume are related how?
Inversely proportional.
That's right. They're inversely proportional. That they would expect you to know. They would not expect you to be able to come up with Boyle's law. Okay?
Are we gonna write notes on your pressure?
No, we're not. They're going to be separate. There's too much to learn. Now, every year I teach concentration first, and every year my students tell me what I teach at first. They think it's harder. So this year I'm going to deviate from that, and I'm going to teach something else first. I think I'm going to do pressure first this year. I always think concentration is easier, but they always tell me I'm nuts. So we're going to try something different.
That's my favorite Sunday. I'm glad I didn't listen to you guys Sundays.
All right, we caught up? Yes, no? Yes? All right. So let me find the slide for pressure. All right, that's concentration. We're going to do it second. All right, we're going to do pressure first. All right, so in order to do this, this is why I said some people don't like this. There are rules for this. Now, the rules I've bolded, okay? The rules are the bold part. So if you're of the, please God, let me survive till June the 6th, you just need to learn the bold. If you're of the Andy variety and you need to understand the concept, then the bold and the lighter unbolded part are there for you also. Yes, I'm going to explain the reasons why also.
The days we have exams and we're supposed to come to your class after 12:30 or whatever, are you going to be teaching stuff?
I'm going to be reviewing, yeah. I always review for the people who are here. Next week, I've got to look at, not next week, the following week's calendar because we'll be in teacher-made tests. I do 3 days of review where you can earn bonus points on this quarter, which I've already told you that I do. And I'll tell you what those dates are next week. One of them always falls after exam. So y'all are second period, so it will probably fall after the first period exam. And then 2 of them will be after school.
Yeah, I need those days.
So what do we get if we come to 2?
You get a half a point each. So if you come to 2, it's 1 full point on your quarter grade. But if you come to all 3, it's 1.5 points, and 1.5 rounds to how many points? 2. But you got to come to the 3rd one to get the extra.
And that's
half point.
not on our
What is it?
final.
Not final, quarter.
Like,
This
so,
quarter grade.
so it was just, like, if I have a 76, it would be like a 78.
That is correct.
So what do our bathroom passes go on
They
to?
go on your last test grade. So if I choose, that's one of the things I have to work on before Monday, so I can decide if I want to give the test or not. Because this is the last topic before we test. So I need to lay out where we are with what I want to get done before the
So what
exam.
if like I make like a 90 and a half?
Then you'd get on. If you have 10, then
Okay,
you'd
but
be
if I
100.
got a 95.
It'd be 110.
Oh,
I mean, if you had all 15, but you could, I mean, if you made 100, you get 115. If you made a 90 and you have 15, you get 105. If you have
So I got.
10, you get 100.
So if I got 98, the last 10th grade, I got 113.
Yes. Yes. And if I choose not to give the test, then it would go on your last test, which was the gas loss. So if yours was a 98, which it was, then it would be 113. So one of the things I have to decide this weekend, I need to lay it out on the calendar and see what I want to do. I may get to a fourth period today, because they're
I
testing.
need the date.
Their last test is today. I know, that's why I want to have it for you on Monday. Because next week, those of you have, let me say this. Those of you who have missing work or outstanding work, I will tell you, next Thursday is the last day for old work. All this old stuff
Are
is
you gonna
laying
be
out
here?
there, AP quizzes and stuff like that. That has to be done by next Thursday.
Are you gonna be here next Wednesday?
Yes, the only day I won't be here next week is Tuesday. I have a meeting. Thursday, I have to leave by like 4:10, so don't wait till Thursday if you have something long to do. If it's a short quiz, I'm okay. But Monday I'll be here, Wednesday I'll be here, Thursday I have until about 4:10. Tuesday, I'm pretty sure it's the only day I have a meeting. Let me double check, but I think I'm right. Monday I have, crap, I have a meeting on Wednesday, I can just skip it. Alright, so, second rule. Write these down and I'll explain. Again, the bold are the rules, and the other is the reason. Write the rules down and then I'll explain. Might be easier that way. And we'll just do pressure today. We'll save temperature and concentration for Monday. Because next Friday we'll have an hour in class, only Baden will be missing unless y'all just lay out of school.
What's that, senior assembly?
Uh-huh.
Next Friday?
Next Friday,
Are we going? Is the whole school going?
whole school's going.
That's when
They have
that's when they give out big scholarships. Oh my God, that took forever last
Yeah,
year.
they have budgeted to about 11 o'clock for it. And last year went closer to 11:30.
Man, I gotta say the pledge.
You got what?
I gotta say the pledge.
You gotta say the
At the
pledge.
senior assembly.
Congrats. Just
I
don't
pledge
mess it up.
allegiance to the flag.
Don't do it
They
too
saying it
fast.
on the intercom.
You gonna say it on the intercom?
Hey,
Okay.
don't do it too fast, because this client will get offended.
Why?
She just gets mad when they're like,
They said it wrong.
This sounds like her.
Girl, wow.
Well, if you're gonna say it on the intercom, don't say it wrong.
Well, no one does.
To her, she's a very good person. Like, you can say something that you wrong. Just to her.
Do we have it written down?
It's not like, she ain't gonna remember what she told you. That was fine.
Okay then. All right, so if we increase pressure, how do we figure out which side has fewer or more moles, first of all, before we even start talking about the rules? How are we gonna know the moles?
balance them.
Coefficients, okay? So is everybody okay with using coefficients in a balanced equation? All right, so here's our example. I'm gonna use this equation, all right? You don't have to write this part yet. So if we, well, I'm gonna use it, but I don't know if you'll get bent out of shape with the amount of space I have. So if we have N2 plus 3H2 yields NH3, all right? This is at equilibrium. Okay, it's at equilibrium. And I am going to,
Dr. Phillips?
wrong
Yes.
room,
Wrong class.
he's next door. You got Miss Wall.
Do they not have like Like, right, like labels or.
Dr. Phillips?
Still
Yes.
apply.
You still got Miss Wall. I'm 29, he's 28.
Okay, well, you have Jade Peoples?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's why then. We need her in the office.
Okay, I'll send her.
It's probably my daddy bringing you that one.
Were you ever in Dr. Phillips' class? Oh, all right.
Never been in time.
All right, so if you have that equation and you're at equilibrium and we add a stress to it, okay, we're going to increase the pressure. So if a system is at equilibrium, according to Le Chatelier, all right, it tries to get back to equilibrium. That's its goal, to get back to equilibrium. So if I increase the pressure, all right, and it's trying to get back to equilibrium, according to the rule, all right, how can it get back to equilibrium? It has to do what? It has to move to the side that has less pressure, right? Well, what side is going to have less pressure? The side with what? Fewer moles. So what side is going to have fewer moles? All right, we have how many moles on this side? 4. Everybody okay with how we got 4? There's 4 moles there. And there's how many moles here? 2 moles. All right, so we said if we're at equilibrium and I add a stress, increase the pressure, we're trying to get back to equilibrium. So we go to the side with fewer moles. So which side is going to have fewer moles? It's going to shift right. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, what happens when it shifts to the right? This is usually where people have a hard time. Anytime that a reaction shifts right, okay? Anytime we shift right, what happens on this side? The concentrations over here will increase. So if that side's going to increase, what's going to happen over here? Okay, the concentrations will decrease. Now, that's not unique to pressure. That's true anytime the reaction shifts to the right. So, if the reaction shifts left, okay? If the reaction shifts to the left, where is it going to increase? Okay. The concentration will increase on the left side. So what's going to happen over here on the right side? Okay. Concentration will decrease. Okay. The concentration is going to decrease on that side. Now, this slide, we're going to use it a lot on Monday. It does not matter if we talk about temperature, pressure, or concentration. Okay? So, if we go back to the same question we were just doing, okay? If I say, what happens to the concentration of nitrogen? All right, what would you tell me happens to the concentration of nitrogen then if we shift to the right?
Wait.
Okay, same question.
Oh, it's a decrease.
You told me it shifted to the right, so nitrogen's concentration will do what?
Decrease.
It will decrease. Okay? Now, if I ask about decreasing the pressure on this one, okay? And then I say what happens to, let's just say hydrogen this time. Okay? So if I decrease the pressure, again, I'm at equilibrium. I decrease the pressure. What's the rule if I decrease the pressure? I have to try to get back to equilibrium, right? So I have to go to more with more moles. So what side has more moles? Okay, I have to shift to the left. So if I shift to the left side, what's going to happen to my hydrogen? Where is hydrogen in the reaction? On the left or the right? It's where? It's on the left. So what's going to happen to it, darling? Is it going to increase or decrease? It's going to what? It is. Okay, it's going to increase. All right. Nope, one more. Last question. What would happen in this? Okay. What would happen there? Okay, so what happens when the moles are equal? All right, we're at equilibrium. Okay? And I increase pressure. So what? So if it's the same on both sides, does it have an effect? No. Okay? Here, pressure has no effect. Okay? That's the only stress. You listening? This is the only stress that can have no effect. So on Monday, when we talk about concentration, can't have no effect. Temperature can't have no effect because the moles are not going to be the answer to the question. Now, what's our homework this weekend? Or if you're someone who thinks your grade could be impacted by changing your lab grade, remember, it doesn't replace, it averages. A grade does not go away completely. Then resubmit your lab reports.